Awesome. So welcome back. It's lesson 4, and this is all about getting results. Now, I often joke with people on my tombstone one day, like I want my epitaph to say get results, because I believe whether it's the carrot or the stick, you literally got to do what it takes to get the results that you want in your life. Now, again, I've invested a lot in myself. I spent $40,000 to go and spend time with Richard Branson on Neck Island, like I've already told you. I also spent $50,000 to go and spend time with Tony Robbins. And Tony Robbins taught me this, and he calls it the training effect. He says there are 3 types of people in the world. Now, I'd love you to kind of decide which one it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen here, because actually it's better when I do it like this. So let's airplay this to my iPad. So I was given this incredible gift, and in 2010 I went along to a course with Tony Robbins. It was Business Mastery. It costs about $15,000 to be there, and I'll never forget, because I had to apply to get in. And I'm actually going to stop sharing so you can see me while I talk about this. So my whole philosophy in life was that I've always been fitter than everyone else. I've always worked harder than everyone else. Like, that's been my success strategy. So when I was at school, I wasn't the cleverest, but I just worked harder than anyone else. When I was on the rugby pitch, I wasn't the most talented, but I just trained harder than anyone else. And it was always my success strategy. And when I got into business, I started in 2004, and I just worked harder than anyone else. And I got to like 2009, and we had the economic crash, the global financial crisis, and I actually couldn't work any harder. Like that wasn't a success strategy. And so I heard about this thing with Tony Robbins. I've always liked Tony Robbins and what he teaches about modeling and mastery. And he said, come and learn from some of the top business people in the world. So I flew all the way to Vegas for this conference, and I had to apply for it. And there were I felt like I was filling in an application for Harvard. Like, that's how seriously I took it. Anyway, I got accepted, and as it turned out, there were 1,000 people in the room. So I think everyone got accepted. But anyway, it was just a clever thing that they did. But one of the things that I found really interesting was that I learned in the process what I'm about to share with you. And it was one of the most profound things that happened to me in my life, because Tony Robbins shared this principle, which I'm now going to share with you. And he said there's 3 types of people in the world. The first is the dabbler. So what's really interesting is the dabbler wants to go along and they want to learn a new skill. So let's say that they're learning the skill here of tennis. So they go and they get some lessons and they practice, and then they hit what's called the ceiling of complexity, and then they fall off. And they go, bugger tennis. Tennis is too difficult. I tell you what, I'm going to learn squash. And they go learn a new, what did I just do there? They go learn a new skill like squash, and they get lessons and they learn quickly, and then they get to here and it gets hard and they fall off. And they go, squash is rubbish. I'm going to go learn golf. And so they start to learn a new, skill, and they grow, and then it gets hard, and then they fall off. And they're like, bugger that, I don't like golf. Well, when it comes to investing, it's the same. These people go on a crypto course, and then it gets hard, and they're like, I don't like crypto. But then they go on a day trading course or something. And they learn it, and then it gets hard, and then they fall off. And then they maybe come on a property course. Maybe they join a challenge, and then they fall off. And the question I would have for people, if you're honest with yourself and you're in the room, are there any dabblers? Ann Wilson's got a beautiful thing. She says a lot of people are like octopus on roller skates, like they're going in multiple different directions. And, I found this really, really interesting. The next type of person, which was the person that I really understood, was what's called a stressor. So the stressor's here, and they want to learn something new, and it gets hard. But rather than falling off, they stress, and they read new books, and they go on new courses, and they get new mentors, and they stress, and they break through, ladies and gentlemen. It's so exciting. They break through to the next level. And then they hit another ceiling of complexity. And they stress, and they read books, and they go on courses, and they find mentors, and they do degrees, and they break through to the next level, ladies and gentlemen. And it's so exciting. But it's difficult. It's hard. And they tend to try and do it all on their own. And for me, this was me for 14 years. I literally went out, you name the book. I read the book, I did the course, you name it, I've done it. I've literally been on almost all the different courses you could think of. I've got multiple degrees, both an honors degree, cum laude. I've got a master's degree, cum laude. I've got CRS, which is the top property qualification out of America. I've got AIPP out of England. I got PDP out of South Africa. Like, there's not many people that have as many qualifications, courses, books, mentors, coaches that I had. And that's why I resonated a lot with the stressor. But in 2010, Tony Robbins changed the game for me, because he said, there's a different way. There's the way of mastery. And so you're here and you want to get to here, and all you got to do is copy people that have got it successful. And then through time, I realized that there was a way that was even easier. And rather than copying them, was just to partner directly with them. So you can really choose in life. Well, you're going to be a dabbler. And if you're currently a dabbler, that's fine. Just acknowledge the past and don't continue like it. Because if you continue as a dabbler, you're never going to succeed at anything. And the dabblers don't even make it to Tuesday, Wednesday of this course, because they already, want to try and find something new. The stressor is a way to get results. I know. I did it for 14 years, and it can be an effective way, but it's a very difficult way. It's also quite a lonely way. And then the master just allows you to get there so much quicker, so much easier, so much safer. And you start to now see where I say, using systems which can help you get there 70% simpler, safer, and faster. This is the way to do it. So let's go back to the PowerPoint. And what I basically wanted to show you there was the difference between the dabbler, the stressor, and the master. And what I learned from Tony Robbins and again, I paid $50,000 to invest in myself. When you invest in yourself, I found that things go quicker, simpler, safer. I'm sure when you've learned in your life, when you invest in yourself, you can significantly make things happen. And so the dabblers just out there, they literally start new stuff and they just keep repeating it. The stressor, they'll find a way. They stress. As I said, I was one of these. And the master, well, they expect problems. They find a pathway. They look for the easiest way. They look for others who have done it. Success leaves clues. It's all about modeling. And the reason I got Richard Branson there, the man started over 400 companies. Just imagine if he came in and helped you start a company. He'd be able to help you. He'd be able to know what to do. He'd know what problems were going to come, and he can help you get there so much quicker. Success leaves clues. You can literally model successful people, but the ultimate is through partnering with them. And when you go through a journey of mastery, some of you will be in this place. You'll be unconsciously incompetent. You won't even know what you don't know. Then you'll move to consciously incompetence. Imagine if you're writing a book. Now you're learning, oh shit, I don't know how to ride a bike, in terms of that process. Then you become consciously competent. You ride the bike, but it's really difficult and you're trying to figure it all out. And finally, you can become unconsciously competent. This is the journey that we want you to go through when you do it as an investor. You can do it all yourself, or you can literally get a coach. According to Harvard, you'll be 400% better off with getting results with a coach than you will doing it on your own. There's a fantastic little video here that I want to share with you. And this video is all about the benefits of coaching and actually even taking it to the next level with a mastermind.
No, this is extremely predictable. There's tons of research around it. Humans change 5 times faster in groups than they do with a one-on-one coach, consultant, or therapist in that case.
Wow.
So I started looking back at business models and people who had done this effectively over the generations. Masterminds aren't new, folks. They're not new at all. People have been doing this for thousands of years. And when you put a collection of people together who are all committed, all driven, and all so want to make the right changes happen, and you give them a leader to follow who's willing to get in the trenches with them, all of a sudden you start finding real, rapid life or business transformation.
So, what did he say there? People change 5 times faster in groups than they do with a one-on-one coach. You need a collection of people who are all committed, all driven, and also want to make the right changes happen. And you give them a leader to follow who's willing to get in the trenches with them. And that's when you see real, rapid life and business transformation. And that's why we created the mastermind. Because, if you've got a coach, you're effectively 400% or 4 times better off. And if you're part of a mastermind, you're 5 times better off than you've got a coach. And I put those two together, you effectively are 20 times better off. You can literally click on the link, have a discovery call if this is something of interest to you. It's what we call Private Wealth Global. It's all about getting results safely and simply, and it's an enhanced partnership between our family office and ourselves. Let's listen to this teacher. She's a divorced mom, 3 kids. And this is what her experience was of having a team around her and having partners to help her get results. This is the essence of a master. She's not a dabbler. She's not a stressor. She's now a master because she has learned to model and to partner.
You know, it's a safety net that's just you know, unbelievable to me that someone who is not by any means a high net worth individual can have your money working for you, can have my money working for me, and give me that you know, peace of mind. But there really isn't anything like finding the partnerships that we have in this group. So yeah, I think the partnership is the number one reason to join the mastermind. It's not just about the knowledge, it's about how do you execute, but you can't execute unless you have the deals in front of you. And you can't have deals in life, in any aspect of life, unless you have good partners. And it's a partnership that I would highly recommend people to it's worth the entire investment. When I think of where I was 1 year ago, it's a million miles away, and not just because I have income coming in, but knowing what my next steps are. Like, I know where I'm going. I know where the next chunk of money is going to go into. I know what, you know, I want to invest in. I know what I don't want to invest in. And I know the partners that I want to do it with. And that's just a huge weight off anybody's, you know, financial shoulders.
So again, you know the drill. Take out that notebook and that pen and write down partners, because you can be a dabbler. You're probably not even here anymore if you're a dabbler. You can be a stressor and try to figure out how to do it all yourself, or you can become a master. You can model. And the easiest, what I've learned, the easiest, safest, simplest way to get there is to partner with people. And if that's something of interest to you, click on the link below and book one of those discovery calls, and our team can share with you how you too can partner your way to success. Right, that's the end of the lesson. See you in the next one.